Welcome, welcome. We're going to do it a little bit different tonight as we're going to get to some form of detail. So, what do you see in detail, and how do you tie your emotions without judgment to the detail that you see? You want to know something that in another lifetime I was a DJ? Tonight I'll prove it. That's just one of them. Did you not know that in other lifetimes you did something different, but you probably can't remember? But that's all right. You're going to start to remember like never before after today. I want to welcome you to a good night. It's going to be a real good night. A night that you can just sit back and start to remember. Excuse me, I'm making sure the sound is right. And so we can see some things in detail, and you can start to see how you might tie your emotions without judgment to the detail that you see. There's a lot of things that are coming up now that you want to really start to look at. And I just want you to rock with me for a minute. Again, I just want to welcome you if you come in. You might say, "Oh, you didn't iron your shirt." Actually, I got the right shirt today. It's a shirt, but if you look in detail, it has some wrinkles in it. Well, I think there's a lot of wrinkles that we probably need to iron out. Would you help me tonight? And I'll help you. We'll do mirror reflection. Come on. I hope you're feeling this vibe tonight. It's a little bit different because in another lifetime, I found out I was a DJ. So tonight I try to set it up just a little bit to let you feel that vibe tonight while we talk. I want to welcome you in. Sit back, relax. This is going to be a great conversation as we talk about what do you see in detail and how do you tie your emotions without judgment to the detail that you see. Let that rock and roll with you in your soul. Did you know that your soul is the essence of you? That's right. The soul is the essence of you that remembers. That's right. You can go back and see the detail. Someone once told me, they said, why do you focus so much on going back? I said, oh, the reason why we have to know what happens going back is so we know what we have to do going forward. Come on, someone. I hope you felt that. Because, see, right now, as I have you listen to these instrumentals as we're vibing from a place from your soul, you're in the present moment. So it's a gift given to you. You can't do anything about 10 minutes ago. It's the past. And you don't know what's going to happen 10 minutes from now. So the very best thing you can really do is just be right here, right now. Whatever you're doing, give your best because it's your gift given. All right. So listen, this is what we're going to do tonight. We're getting ready to have some fun. I'm going to be on for just a little bit, but I think you're going to feel it. It's going to be great. We do have a topic. Again, I'm going to mention the topic, and I just want to show you this shirt. It's a shirt, but it has some wrinkles in it. But you know, if you get caught up in the vibe, you might miss that. And so that's what we're doing usually in life. We're missing the detail. Do you know the detail? What do you see in detail? And how do you tie your emotions without judgment to the detail that you see? To all of my men, I want to alert you on something tonight that I don't really know if you've ever thought about, but you have something inside of you called hermit energy. That's right. Hermit energy. Have you ever thought about that? I'll tell you what hermit energy is. Hermit energy keeps you in a place that you just really want to be alone. It's a more masculine energy. Kind of makes you go away. I have any men out there that can feel that right there. That's a hermit energy, okay? And you may have not ever, maybe someone didn't tell you about it, but this is an energy that comes through our grandfathers and fathers, and it's a masculine, leave me alone type of energy. But once you start to know about this energy, you can know better how to deal with that particular hermit energy. It's just the opposite on, and this is just one of the energies that men naturally usually have that they may not know about. On the other side, there's a communion energy for a more feminine, females carry communal or communication. Now, and I'm just dealing with these two because it's in those that both of those are applicable to both the masculine and feminine when you begin to cross over. Come on. I want you to begin to feel that. Okay. And so you begin to balance yourself out. Okay. You're balancing yourself out. And tonight it is a balance as we're in the detail tonight. This is a different type of night. So this might not be your vibe, but if you stick around, I promise you'll get something. What I want to do right here is I want to go between the human and the being side. I've been talking a lot about that, the human and the being side. And so what happens is that the human person carries the emotion, all right? And so the being side is the energy. I want you to catch this because I want you to go on two different sides because I'm talking about you and you're going to love this. I hope you're feeling this frequency. This is a love frequency that's going into your soul and helping you to see something that you've never seen because we are missing some detail. So the emotion side, it begins to, it's human. It's what we are. It's what you give. It's what you respond to. All of us have it, men and women, whether we say it or not, we're moved by it. And this is the emotion in the detail of you. Okay. It's what we're very conscious of sometimes and sometimes not. But now watch this. That's the human side. In your being side, being. Now we don't talk about the being. We just talk about I'm human. I'm human. I'm only human. I'm only human. Well, there's a being side to you. Well, your being side is you just being, and that's your energy. Okay. That's your free flow. A lot of times we're not able to get to the being side because who talks about the being side? The only thing we know about a being are beings from way out there. Well, guess what? You came from way out there and you're here being on earth. Wow. Your high side. Okay. So that's a different side than your emotion side. Now watch this. Sometimes your emotions don't care to line up with your being side. Your human nature does not care to line up with your being side. Let's just call for safety precautions. How about it? Being side, we're going to call that your God side. Is that okay? I hope that doesn't freak you out too much. But you have to know, even if you just take the hemispheres of your brain, you have a left side, which is your, let's just say your human side, your emotion side, and your being side is your right side. Okay. So we're going to get to the right side of life tonight. How about it? I don't know if you're with me. I hope you're enjoying this. We're just doing something different tonight, a different form of teaching, just that we can connect on a different level. I'm Harold Timberlake. I'm your host tonight, and I deliberately put on my red shirt that has wrinkles in it because we're gonna look at the details tonight, not so much in the shirt, but in your life and in life just in general, because there are all type of details that I know that the being side of you is actually seeing, but sometimes you might deny it. Come on. But sometimes you have to first see it in yourself. And so the emotion side and the energy side are both inside of you, but most times you're more conscious of your emotion side. Your emotions move you. They dictate what you're going to do. If you get upset, you get angry. If you're happy, you're joyful. That's your emotion side. There's another part of you, and it's your energy, and it's the other side. It's your God side. It's the side that you have to be on earth because you begin to be aware of the emotion. And so you start to see differently and you begin to operate differently than you've ever had before. But this is the detail. And so you start to straighten out. Now watch, after a while, The shirt is going to absolutely straighten out more so than it is. Because just like the shirt, in the detail of your life, you're going to start to see in detail what has been hidden from you. Sometimes people don't know that they're wrinkled or that they're missing something because maybe no one ever told them, or maybe they didn't come to it. And so, but when you begin to have mirror reflection, what we're doing tonight. So tonight you're helping me to see myself, as we're talking about the emotion on the left side, and on the right side, the energy, which is all inside of you. So you're helping me to see myself as I'm talking to you. So it's mirror reflection on both sides. Come on. So your emotion side and your energy side, when the two become one, you become made whole inside of you. And so when you become made whole on earth, then you exemplify a light. We call that the light of Christ. And it's the light that has come to the earth that begins to shine. That person is able to shine their light once they begin to know their emotion and their energetical side and their spiritual side and their God side and their human side. And they say, it is well in my soul that I remember. I remember myself. And so you can live your best life. I mean, you really start living like you've never lived before. I know that's someone today that you say, I want to start living like I've never lived before. I desire to do things I've never done before. I don't want to be in the constructs anymore of someone else's plan for my life. Come on, some of you have been in the construct of other people's lives. You've lived their lies and their lives. But don't you want to spend the rest of the time you have here enjoying yourself? There are people that you desire. There are things you want to do. Some of your working jobs that you said, this is a dead end road for me. Some relationships like that. No, you really want to consider yourself, okay? Look at the detail, okay? Look at the detail in your life. What is shortening your days? What is pushing you? What is forcing you? What is stressing you? That's wrinkles. Come on, we got to straighten them out. We got to straighten them out. Straight, which is becoming whole or atoned within you, okay? And so then therefore there is sweet communion. I would say there's sweet communion with inside of you once you begin to know this with inside of yourself, okay? And so there we are in the emotion and the energy inside of you, and you're becoming whole, okay? In the church, it's the same thing. They separated church and state and science. They separated it all. They put religion against each other, okay? They put people against each other, classism, okay, racism, okay? All of these things, and cause people not to know their history. See, if we knew where we came from or what we did or what happened before we can remember, it would be clear vision that you would be able to see more, first within you and then within other people or situations. Then you'll see things, situations, or people for what it really is. I continue to talk about this. I have a very nice shirt on, but it's wrinkled, and I knew it was. But this is we're seeing, but we don't know the detail. So what do you see in detail, and how do you tie your emotions without judgment to the detail that you see? I'm gonna read that again. I'm gonna say it again. What do you see in detail, just in general? And how do you tie your emotions without judgment to the detail that you see? Because when you look at the detail, you have to look at the detail without judgment. Okay, and this is where you begin to see the God side in you without judgment, because judgment is the accuser of you, according to Revelation. What it said is accuser of the brethren. So you accuse yourself. So the accuser, if you think about, if we use the concept on earth as it is in heaven, you go into the courtroom, and when someone accuses you, uh, and says you've done this, and you're the defendant, or and the plaintiff and the defendant, and you're being accused of a thing, and so now you have to go to jail, kind of like going to hell. Some people that are in jail feel like they're in hell on earth. Okay. And so you're accused. So the scripture says the accuser of the brethren, which is the accuser of you. So that's your devil right there. Okay. So every time someone accuses, points the finger, you're wrong, you did this, you're going to hell, whatever people say, that's what we would call the devil on earth. Okay. So the accuser comes out of the breath. Sometimes people take that in their own hand. Okay. So once they feel, I'm going to take this liberty in my own hand, and they're accused. When they begin to accuse a situation, they attack the situation. That's like what we would call a Satan would do, or a devil, or something like that, which that person may be, they may feel justified in doing that, but nevertheless, and so what happens is that comes against you. Okay. So sometimes you can put that against someone else as well. But it first if you accuse someone, you have to first look at yourself. Whatever you put out, you must know that it's first you before them. You can't give out anything and it first not come to you first. It's you, then that. Okay. So when you give love, you have to give it first to yourself. If you're going to cuss someone out, if you're going to curse someone or cuss someone, however you say it, you cuss yourself first. You're cursing yourself first. Okay. All right. That's the detail. Okay. So we're seeing the detail. You're cursing yourself first. Always put yourself first. So when you look to bless someone, well, you know what? Bless yourself first. First you, and then your neighbor. Love the Lord. The scripture says it like this: love the Lord your God with all of your heart, all of your soul, all of your mind. And the second commandment is like unto this: love your neighbor as you love yourself. Okay. So yourself comes first. Love your neighbor as you love you. You can't know how to love your neighbor until you know how to love yourself. Okay. You can't know how to love your spouse until you love yourself. You know yourself. You can't love your children until you know yourself. You can't, until you know yourself, you know your own self. You can't do for your children. You can't do for anyone until you first do it within your own self. Okay. So it's the energy on the being side, or the right side. When you begin to get to the right side of your life, there's symbolic scripture when the disciples were, when they were fishing, they had been fishing all day, and Jesus shows up and he tells them immediately, he says, cast your net to the right side. Now that's symbolic. Okay. This is the esoteric teaching that they would teach in the East, but we didn't get in the church. And so the right side is the right hemisphere of your brain. Okay. It's energetic. It's really inside of you. It's so you're coming from the left side of the emotion of the human, Harold, or you can put your name there, and you're crossing over. Jesus says, cast your net to the right side. They cast their net to the right side. It's an amazing story. They cast their net to the right side, and immediately they catch 153 fish, right? So 1 + 5 + 3 is 9. Well, you have to kind of look that up. When you start to look that up, you will start to see that 9 means a lot. 9 is all forms of awareness and consciousness. 9 is the dimension that where the human is able to go through the different levels, and they get to the 9th dimension, and they're able to come back from a high place and bring the information to and present it, that you start to remember in awareness and consciousness that you have the ability to look at the detail and iron out your life, or I could say my shirt, or you just start to see things differently. But I guarantee that you weren't looking at the wrinkles. You were just listening to what I'm saying. But I wanted you to see the detail, because there's a lot of details that we're missing because we're being moved by other things. So many things happening in the news, and children, and the shootings, and a lot of rappers, and there's a lot going on. New variants, new COVID shots. A lot of things are coming out. New robots being made that can reproduce. A lot of things that are seen. So we want to start to look at the detail first inside of ourselves, because once you start to read your own soul and energetic field, there's a formula that you can hear differently within yourself in the universe. There's a oneness that a person must have, that they come into as they're going into the harmony from their own soul and learning the detail of their life. Okay, on the energetic side, or the being side. Okay, because that's you. The being side of you, there's a field, there's ores that you can't even see, that are absolutely a part of you. All type of energies and connections that you have to another side, to another people. I'm sorry, not in the form of flesh, but through energy. Okay, so here we're people and we're flesh, but in another world it's energy. Okay, so there is no death, there's only transition. A lot of people come back because they did not complete the mission. Okay, so they come back and they come back and have another opportunity, just like if a child failed school. Okay, because a lot of the schools are modeled after the schools of thought that were that come from the East, where a lot of the information was recorded and a lot of the beings showed up. Okay, places like Africa and different places, South America, New Zealand, China, and they would build the structures of these, the pyramids, to harness the energies in certain chakras on even the earth. Okay, so even the earth, not only just your body, watch this, not only just your body has chakras, but the earth as well. Isn't that something? The earth has chakras in it, and certain places. But the chakras have nothing to do with whether these certain tombs are placed, but where the tombs are placed are in accordance with Orion's belt. I think these are great things that you should look up. And so these harness energies and things like that. But all of this energetically, believe it or not, I could be talking about structured temples, but I'm really just talking about you. I don't want to get out into structured temples and all this stuff way out there. I just want to deal right with you. I tell you what, that if what I'm saying resonates with you, there is an energy that a sound that comes from your soul that you connect with, and you connect through vibration. Okay, so there are words you might hear me say, vibration or frequency or things like that. Well, these are words that you may hear like in radio or things like that. So these are transmissions. Okay, so just like that's energy, and we like to listen to the music. I kind of have some music playing in the background. Well, you have to know that those vibrations really flow out of your soul. Come on, I want you to feel that. Those vibrations really flow. There's a flow out of your soul that those vibrations they flow from. And so when you're in the flow of your life, you can hear differently, and you're seeing differently, and then you're seeing in detail, and you're checking out how you tie your emotions, because all of us have them, whether you acknowledge it or not, your emotions without judgment to the detail, because your emotions could be blocking you from seeing detail that source would want you to see. Okay, say God or Spirit or Holy Spirit, however you want to say it, because of your emotions and how you see it, and you could be missing the detail. I'm gonna go ahead and straighten out my shirt because I don't want you to talk bad about my wrinkled shirt, but my wrinkled shirt represents I have on a shirt, and we might think that we're seeing something, but we might be missing the detail. I have some wrinkles here. I got some wrinkles here. I got some things I really need to straighten out, find out about. And so these are the details that you want to start to look first in yourself. When you go through yourself with a fine tooth comb, check out yourself. knowing that you came in by yourself and you're leaving by yourself. So, but nevertheless, when you get in the energy field, there are a lot of other energies around, but you came in. And so therefore, there's a lot of detail that you want to begin to see. You want to begin to see first within yourself, here within yourself, and look at how you're tying what you see to your emotions, because that's the human side of you, and you have that right. I really want to say that right there. You have that right, because you're all the human that you can be. Some of you are all the man, all the woman that you can be. But there's another part of you. There is a side. There's a God side. There's a source side. There's a being side, to where you just go in the flow of being, in the energetic field of being. It balances out that emotion side of you. Check out that hermit energy, men, masculine energy. That sweet communion, that feminine energy. Keep communicating, men, women. Keep communicating within yourself. Open up that throat chakra. We can't be apart. We have to be together in order to make it all work. We're coming together. Listen, I want to tell you this. There's a lot of things that have separated. There's a lot of things that have separated many people. Things like religion. Religion is really separated a lot of people. We've got COVID. It's definitely separating. It's separating people. People are being separated from their families, and people are struggling. They really are. And so it's really not a time for people to really, fight and go back and forth about things that don't really matter, because, we're just dealing with the emotion that we're not even aware of. There are many people that that absolutely do not have emotional intelligence. They're not even aware of their emotion, which is why people are irate or going just. That's why the child that took the other children's lives. That's the emotion. But that's inside of all of us. That's inside of you. Okay, that's inside of you. That could be inside of your child. Okay. But we have to have some form of emotional intelligence to even go through our own emotion. How often do you go through your emotions, your feelings? How often do you sit between your emotions and your feelings? Because that's your human side. Okay, and that's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere with you. It's not going anywhere with your relationship. It's just not going to go anywhere. It's going to always be there. And so therefore there has to be some form of decision to how you're going to learn about or become intelligent about your own emotion that's inside of you, that has probably controlled where you are, because much of what we do is based off of the emotion that we feel in a particular situation. We go off of that. That's a human side, and if that's that side that you stay on, then at least it would behoove you to become intelligent about your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, your own self, talking to yourself about it. And the reason why is because when that happens, you're able to get up from there and start your journey through what I would consider Moses. They say he parts the sea and the water stands up on liquid legs. Isn't that something? He parts the sea, parts the Red Sea, and all the children are able to go through. Well, in the brain, if you think about it, there's a left hemisphere of the brain, human side, and on the right, and also that's the masculine side of your brain is the masculine side. Now that's the side that most of us are operating on. But what happens is in the energetic side, that's a more feminine side, the nurturing nature, the right side. And the two must come together. So Moses splits the water, and we're coming into a water stage now. If you just look this up in Google, and it talks about, I think it went from Taurus. That's when they were killing bullocks in the Bible. Every 10,000 years, they were killing the thing, and they're still doing that, like Mithra, things like that, in secret places. They're still doing that. And I think it went from there to Aries, and then it went from there to Pisces. Now, a lot of you can identify with that because you put the sign of the fish on the back of your cars, okay? And that's what they would do to show that they were Christians and things like that. But we're coming out of Pisces and we're going into Aquarius, okay? Now, these things are really happening. When you look at Job 38:32, it talks about the zodiac, but you call the zodiac or your horoscopes, it's called the Mazzaroth, okay? You should look it up. It all means the same thing. Now, I know people told you to stay away from the zodiac, but absolutely, Job, the oldest book in the Bible, talks about that, and it talks about the influences of that. So you might want to start to really check into that, because that has influences on earth as it is in heaven. So the Mazzaroth is the zodiac, okay? The zodiac, because you have a sign. I'm a Capricorn. So there were certain stars that were in place when I came. And so I don't know what you are. And a lot of those you start to find out, and believe it or not, there's a lot of characteristics and same traits that people have that literally were born in certain months. It's pretty amazing. I mean, and the Bible talks about it. And sometimes the people in the church have told us to stay away from things like that because that could be evil. But really, you're becoming more knowledgeable of yourself, and you're able to handle your emotions much better, to be a lot more probably kind to yourself, much more kind to yourself by just knowing about yourself. Now, you don't have to govern yourselves or anything about it, but it's a freedom in it. There's a major freedom and just learning about your times, your numbers, that when you were born, okay? I was born January 18th, right? So 1 + 8 = 9, okay? So you start, as a matter of fact, another thing I think is real fun that you might want to do is check out your birthday in the Bible, okay? Maybe the first book that comes to mind, or your favorite book. If it's not that, and you don't see the verse because it doesn't quite line up with your birthday, go to the second one that you're led to. I think that'll be really good. I think it'll be really inspirational to you. If you really want to hear what you call, or who you call God speak to you, go to your birthday. I remember that I went to Ephesians 1:18 because that's my birthday. And I was like, whoa, it was like, wow, that was great. It was a great birthday gift. So, yeah, check you out. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and talk to you about this this emotion versus this energy. And it's not a versus thing, but it has to come together. Okay, so what's happening energetically? I'm not even talking spiritual, nothing holy or church or anything like that. I'm just talking about what's in your body. Okay, so the Egyptians knew it, and so there's a lot of things that are in your body, your spinal cord. It's the 33 vertebrae going up the back. Okay, so we say Jesus Christ, he dies at 33. Okay, so that's a information center right up your back, going up the back of the spine. That's also Revelations 5:1. So you check that out. And because up to 33 vertebrae up the spinal cord, which had the Kundalini rises up. That's the snake. I know a lot of people demonize the snake, and some of you call this stuff witchcraft too, but it's just information. And so it rises up the spine, and so what happens is up to 33 vertebrae is able to get to the pineal gland, which the Bible talks about for those that are readers right there. Genesis 32:30, Old Testament, and Jesus talks about it in Matthew 6:22. So somebody wanted us to know some information. You got some good stuff right inside of your body, because what I'm learning is everything that you need, you've got right at the house, okay? Right in the temple. That's right. Right in the temple. So we're learning about our own temples or kingdoms, and so then we're able to come outside and connect with other kingdoms, because you have great jurisdiction over yourself, over your body. That's why women do have a choice. I wonder why anybody would want to take away the choice of what women want to do with their own body. Isn't that something? Could you imagine if someone wanted to do something with your body, and just because of your gender? That's that. But the thing is this, is that because in the womb of a woman, they can't even begin to explain. I'm going to put up a video of one of my good friends, and she's going to be talking about different things, but I'm gonna put up a video and she explains that whole womb of a woman. There's something about the womb of a woman that is a mystery, to where life comes, this voided space. And one of the most amazing things, and all of us, isn't that something? All of us came through the womb of a woman, the man, the womb man, the womb man, the womb man. So, and so these are things that we're learning, we're understanding, we're putting it together with scripture, and we're going higher together. And so again, what do you see in detail, and how do you tie your emotions without judgment to the detail that you see, just in general? I put on a wrinkled shirt today. I'm sure you can see the detail in it, but tonight as we're talking, it's beginning to straighten out. And that's what usually happens on Mirror Reflection, when you begin to connect with those that you know, that you made a decision long time ago to walk with. Then you start to iron out the details in your life, because you start to remember. One of the greatest things you could ever do in this life is to remember. And it's really remembering you. Okay, it's really remembering you first, and then everything and everyone else starts to fall. Not fall, but rise to where it is that you are, because you're remembering you. And when you start to see you, you can then see other people. Come on. When you start to be kind to you, when you start to see the detail in you and begin to lose your judgment, because when you are, sometimes what I'm finding out is sometimes people cannot see because they don't know the detail. They can't see what you're saying, because they cannot see the detail in it. And so be kind to yourself, first giving yourself detail that you can then give it to someone else. I think I'm going to stop right there. I've enjoyed you tonight. We've had an opportunity to listen to just a little bit of music. I wanted to go back into one of my other lifetimes as a DJ. So we're doing that a little bit tonight, and we're just talking about emotion, energy, and detail, and ourselves, and God, and Spirit, and we're all putting it all together, trying to make some sense of it. So you've been a great audience tonight. I really appreciate you. Hope we can talk again real soon. I'm Harold Timberlake, and we look forward to hanging out and talking about what do you see in detail. And how do you tie your emotions without judgment to the detail that you see? Come on, answer those questions. Check yourself out. Be good to yourself. Can't wait to do it again with you. Good night.